Yo, 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 what up, bro hams and bro weeshes? It's your boy Home Boom back with another segment of the Hold Up Show. And hold up, what did he sign? Today we're going to be going over some of the first day executive orders signed at the inauguration by President Uncle Donnie. Our first source of published info comes from the New York Slimes morning article. Let's get it. Trump's executive orders reversing Biden's policies and attacking the deep state. So, the first category they put up is the federal workforce. So, these are things targeting strictly government workforce. So, the first was they froze federal hiring except for members of the military in positions related to immigration enforcement, national security, or public safety. So, that means ain't no more you motherfuckers getting hired unless you getting vetted, unless we know what you getting hired for, unless it got something to do with kicking out illegal immigrants that Biden let in for the last 3.5 years, or a national security emergency like the LA fires, the Maui fires, the North Carolina hurricane, the Florida hurricanes, Gulf of Mexico stuff. You get the picture. And public safety, like when the Democrats try to orchestrate, these unruling protests that are peaceful in their eyes. Anyway, continuing on, restore a category of federal workers known as Schedule F, which would lack the same job protections enjoyed by career civil servants. So they're restoring something to workers under the Schedule F. Not completely sure what that means, but shout out to them. A halt of new federal rules from going into effect before Trump's administration appointees can review them. So they're trying to say, hold up, all that bullcrap that Biden tried to pull in the 25th hour of his presidency on his way out the door, we're going to halt all that and get a good review with our people to see what actually he was trying to sneak in on his way out. Also, review the investigative actions of the Biden administration to correct past misconduct by the federal government related to weaponization of law enforcement and the weaponization of the intelligence community. So I would assume that this would directly affect Russiagate and any other gate where it has to do with the government weaponizing, or political parties or individuals weaponizing their power in the government to go after people who are pointing out their wrongdoing, i.e., telling Facebook to censor the American people when we're pointing out what you're putting to the public. Like, bro, we see you. Like, you know what I mean? Anyway, moving on. Grant top secret security clearances to White House staff without going through traditional vetting procedures. So who was they giving top security clearances to that didn't go through the proper procedures? Like, yeah, Biden and these Democrats, they was always up to something, man. I mean, come on. How can a senile old man who was shitting on himself tell you exactly what was that he was in charge, and you felt confident that he knew exactly everything that was going on in his administration, or even the pieces of paper that he was signing? We heard they have to review all the executive orders he was signing because the man didn't even know what he was signing. He was told one thing and he was signing another. Crazy. And the last one that has to do with the federal workforce, in remote work policies and other federal workers back to the office full time. So will the ramifications of that affect the private sector of the workforce? Will some of these woke companies reverse their actions and start sending people that were sitting at home doing remote jobs back into the office every day to have that human interaction, to have that more efficiency at the workplace? I don't know. Remains to be seen. I've already seen some behaviors at some companies starting to reverse that, where they're having them come in a hybrid role, but more in than out, if you get what I'm saying. So that was all the things concerning the federal workforce that he signed, according to the New York Slimes report this morning. Let's go on to immigration and the border. So, bar asylum for newly arriving at the southern border. So they're no longer putting anybody up who tries to show up and say, hey, I'm trying to get some papers, just look out for me till I'm good or whatever, and they get in the country and they get missing. Or, they get more benefits than a welfare mother with 5 kids. You know what I'm saying? Like, what immigrant needed $5,000 a month and $15,000 in food stamps? Like, who are you feeding? The army? Is this your secret army that you let invade? Anyway, move to end birthright citizenship, which is guaranteed by the 14th Amendment for the children of undocumented immigrants. The president cannot change the Constitution on his own, so it is not yet clear how Mr. Trump's plans to withhold the benefits of citizenship to a group of people born in the United States. Any move is all but certain to be challenged in court. Yeah, that one could be a little tricky. Because if they already somehow, some way made their way onto American soil and that offspring was born in this country, I mean, according to our forefathers and the Constitution, that newborn baby is now a legal citizen with rights of a citizen from the United States. So that one could be a bit tricky. There might be a lot of back and forth. Shoot, it might go beyond this term, this 4-year term that Trump is just entering into right now. So that was a little tricky. But I'll let the courts fight that out in their legalese bull crap that they like to talk. Suspend the refugee admissions program until such time as the further entry into the United States of refugees aligns with the interests of the United States. So they're going to halt all the admissions programs of anybody, anyone, or person classified as a refugee from another country. They will halt all that until those interests of you entering their country align with the interests of the United States. So it sounds like they're suspending an admissions program until it's properly vetted to, serve us, more protection. Declare migrant crossing along the U.S.-Mexico border to be a national emergency, allowing Mr. Trump to unilaterally unlock federal funding for border wall construction without approval from Congress for stricter enforcement efforts. So I'm all for this. Why do we have to go through so many hoops, regarding politics with the Congress and the House, or if they all get to disagreeing and discussing and then they have to send it to the Supreme Court. When we're talking about protecting our country, like I can't go any other country and just say I'm just going to walk in, or I'm going to sneak under a fence and you're just going to give me rights, or you know, it's all good or whatever. And it's like, bro, they got a wall. They're going to have troops there. They're going to have somebody that's going to fire at my black ass as soon as I try to go over, into their country illegally or without permission. Like, even if I'm with my hands up, like, no, I'm not a threat. They don't play that. So why should we play that? So, resume a policy requiring people seeking asylum to wait in Mexico while an immigration judge considers their case. Resume a policy. So that must have been an old policy that Biden killed, and he's resuming it to where as though they have to wait. They have to wait in Mexico. So wherever they're seeking asylum from, they have to automatically go to Mexico and have to sit there. I wonder what the Mexican government would have to say about that, or if they would even be aligned to that. I mean, as long as we don't have to pay for it, I'm all for it. Like, I mean, they would be getting some type of, relief from wherever they're seeking asylum from to some degree until they're waiting to have their case heard to become or get a chance to get immigration into our country and possibly, the right or the procedures to start to become a legal citizen. Yeah. And considering designating cartels as a foreign terrorist organizations. Yeah, I'm all for that. Like, they are foreign terrorist organizations. I mean, when they start to charge us right here on soil, when you are affiliated with any criminal organization, i.e., gang, i.e., the mafia, or whoever your organization is, and that interacts in some type of criminal um, actions, they classify you and hit you with harder sentencings, and the same should be done for people they classify as, foreign terrorists, cartel members that's coming to cause nothing but harm in our region or in our country, and they're not from here, they're not cis, you know, it would be only right to properly classify them as such. So, let's just get with the hard truths that, a lot of these things that is about to go on, you know, it's going to be touchy, but some things need to be done in order to fix the system, you know what I mean? And sometimes that happens to be labeling things as they are. I mean, if these people are going out causing terror, like, you can't go to their country because of fear of, being on a resort, and they bum rush the resort and they ready to round up everybody for hostages, or they just start popping. That's acts of terror. That would be considered acts of terror if you did it here in America. So, you know, call them what they are. Now we get on to the next section: gender and diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives. So these are the things targeting that. He immediately terminated all DEI programs across all the federal government. So I applaud him for that. I mean, let's be real. It was getting ridiculous. It was getting out of hand. We're in 2025, and we're sitting up here debating whether it's more than two genders here on planet Earth. And it's ridiculous. So also he's signing a law recognizing that there's only two sexes, male and female. And the last one is remove protections for transgender people in federal prisons. So, all y'all snitches and people looking to try to, you know, pull the claws on the system, put you some breast in, or call yourself, Pootie Tang before you get to jail, so you can get in a women's prison, so you can, have, have your way, sort of say, you know what I mean? Uh, that's over, brothers. We probably shouldn't hear about any more cellmates ending up pregnant unless it's the traditional way, the COs and the warden. So let's move on. So now these got to do with tariffs and trade. So things he signed affecting the tariffs and trade. So direct federal agencies to begin an investigation into trade practices, including persistent trade deficiencies and unfair currency practices, as well as examine flows of migrants and drugs from Canada, China, and Mexico to the United States. Ooh. So, we're trading drugs. Uh, it says as well as examine flows of migrants and drugs. So the I'm trying to understand how that directly relates to trade practices that they're looking at the flow of drugs. I mean, I know we get, poppy seeds and things like that because, I used to work at a chemical factory that made, uh, Oxycontins and Percocets and, morphine and all that. And I know we were getting that stuff from Afghanistan or whatever. And we were, you're making, prescribed pills, and it's in its rawest form. So it's like I know it's coming in as a plant, and we're allowed to do all the things in a reactor to turn it into what we turn it into. But if it's already bricked up drugs or grown marijuana or what fentanyl, whatever it is, um why would we be examining the flow of I mean, I guess that's I'm not sure what that has to do with tariffs and trade, but that would mean we got a deal for the drugs to trade them with these countries, and it's like if that's the case, are y'all bringing in bricks of coke? That is that in the, I need more information on that one. Access China's compliance with a trade deal Mr. Trump signed in 2020, as well as the United States Mexico Canada Agreement, which Trump signed in 2020 to replace the North American Free Trade Agreement. So that seems like a lot of political mumbo jumbo right there. Uh, you would have to break down the North American Free Trade Agreement first, and then to understand why he signed the United States Mexico Canada Agreement to get rid of that agreement, and now he wants access to China's compliance to a trade deal, to that trade deal. So he wants to see if they were actually following the rules there. And if not, I'm assuming that that's going to be heavy sanctions, heavy tariffs, heavy fines to continue to do business in the United States. And we all know we've seen enough of our stuff saying made in China in America. So, it'll be interesting to see how that works out. Order the government to assess the feasibility of creating an external revenue service to collect tariffs and duties. Now, I'm all for this. Get rid of the internal revenue service that's just looking to get into our pockets and squeeze us for money we've already been taxed for or already worked for, and you want to tax us again on it. I mean, this some of that stuff is just ridiculous, and I am all for the external revenue service doing what a corporation likes to do with its employees. Give them gain sharing benefits. If the company did good this year, we get bonuses from the company from the company or the corporation doing good. It keeps morale of the employees. It's the same thing for us here. The United States is a business. No one and everyone wants to be in business with the United States because we are the number one consumers of everything, especially black people. Our money controls the market. We sway how things go. So for us to start getting a profit off of the things that we're purchasing from these other countries through these tariffs, it awesome, awesome, great idea. You know what I mean? Tax them. You know what I'm saying? This is our block. Gotta tax them. You feel me? So carry out a full review of the U.S. industrial and manufacturing base to assess whether further national security related tariffs are warranted. So yeah, do a full review. Turn over everything, kick every box. Turn it up. You know what I mean? Because we don't want any um unreviewed deep state programs still in operation funding any of their nefarious ideas. I heard him say a joke. It's a few that stragglers that he'll still have to deal with, but they'll be powerless. So that handles trade and tariffs. Let's go move on to the next section of things that he signed that were affecting energy and the environment. So he withdrew the United States from the Paris Agreement, the pact among almost all nations to fight the fake ass climate hoax, because first it was, we're going to go back into the frozen age. You remember that? Like whatever happened to the dinosaurs is going to happen to us, and we're going to be frozen under something. And then that turned into, oh, we're going to be burned to a crisp. The planet is heating up, and we're going to melt any day now. And the ice caps are going to melt, and we're going to get tsunamis from the North and the South Pole, and it's going to take us over. And then now that turned into climate change, to where as though now it's some form of all this shit happening at once, and now the climate is just sparking Rodeo Drive on fire out of the clear blue. And they go start these fires and then say the climate did it. You know what I mean? And it's like, what? No, it was that blue laser from that dew weapon that you just hit us with that did it. Like, come on, bro. You're not gonna hit me with none of that dumb shit. Like, this shit just ignited from the environment. And it's like, what? No, I've seen that lithium ignite in them green cars that y'all try to push on us. I seen them spark. You know what I mean? Anyway, declare a national energy emergency, a first in U.S. history. So we have an energy emergency. So which could unlock new powers to suspend certain environmental rules or expedite permitting of certain mining projects. Hopefully, like them trying to mine lithium here on American soil. Hopefully, like 5G dangers, putting these things near schools and residential areas when they should be in areas that have, nothing. Like, it shouldn't be around, any agriculture, anything, areas like that. Yeah. So, yeah. Next, attempt to reverse Mr. Biden's ban on offshore drilling for 625 million acres of federal water. Yes, like why would we be buying oil and other resources from other countries when we have those things right here, for them to turn around and try to dictate to us what the price should be of those things, because it's such a hassle to get them over here. And the whole time, this middlemen are elected officials. These middlemen are filling their pockets with this corruption. Like, it's been corruption for years. It's always make you wonder, like, huh? Like, if we got oil here, why are we buying it from over there? Oh, why are you, who's supposed to be in the best interest of us, signing laws that says we can't drill just so we could buy some shit from your homies over there on the other side? Like, what? Come on. Because y'all got some backdoor handshake, wink, wink. No. Attempt to begin to appeal Biden era regulations on tailpipe pollution from cars and light trucks, which have encouraged automakers to manufacture more electric vehicles. So we get the repeal on those regulations that are trying to say our gas operated vehicles are causing so much harm to the environment that we need all these electric cars that cause more harm to the environment just to dig up the lithium and the deposits and stuff that leaves over into a basically walking, ticking, a rolling, ticking electric time bomb that could just go off at any moment. Because I'm pretty sure you've seen the videos, and I'm not going to name the companies of these electric vehicles, but you get the point. All right, roll back energy efficiency regulations for dishwashers, shower heads, and gas stoves. Hey, man, I wonder how that was affecting our bottom line. Was that affecting the sale of dishwashers and shower heads, or was that affecting our electric bill and gas bills because we possess a dishwasher or a certain shower head that's powerful, or gas stoves that have eight, nine burners on the top? Like, were we being penalized, uh, you know, somehow through our bills that needed to be addressed? Open the Alaska wilderness to more oil and gas drilling. Yeah, I mean, why not? It's not heavily populated. I mean, they are paying people to live there. I believe it's like 3,500 a month to just live there. So wouldn't that in turn, bring more business, more economy to these Alaska areas, and just generate more, and in turn have us have cheaper gas and oil to heat our homes and fill up our cars. Restart reviews of the new export terminals for liquefied natural gas, something the Biden administration had paused. Yep. Halt the leasing of federal waters for offshore wind farms. Not sure what that is. I did hear a crazy story that there is a family that somehow positioned themselves in a way to own California's water, or if not California's water, LA County's water supply, and they sell it back to the people of California or the people of Los Angeles County. I mean, if that's true, like, it's all business, people. We have to look where the money. That's why they always tell you to look where the money is going, because the money will tell you how much this is all a business and who's really running stuff. Eliminate environmental justice programs across the government, which are aimed at protecting poor communities from excess pollution. So you want to eliminate environmental justice programs, which are aimed at protecting poor communities from excess. I don't know. There has to be a deeper something to that one. Like, is that a money laundering pit, that whereas though they're dumping pollution in poor communities still and pretending that they're not, and that's why you want to eliminate those programs? Because yeah, you got some explaining to do with that one. Yeah. So let's get into it. Review all federal regulations that impose an undue burden on the development or use of a variety of energy sources, particularly coal, oil, natural gas, nuclear power, hydropower, and biofuels. So yeah, um, I feel as though so much across the board of all of government has to be reviewed and updated. And when I worked for corporate America, annually we have to go through our quality documents and update them, our procedures, our machine capabilities, and things like that. So why isn't this being done on a biannual basis for our government, especially if we're letting, certain elected officials sign so much bullcrap into law in their state, in their county, city, state, or federal governments, that you need to have something biannual to just go over all these regulations and make sure, things are in line in the benefit of us, the people. So that handles everything that's regarding energy and the environment. Now let's see what he has to say about the god awful and who gives a fuck TikTok ban. But apparently it's all the rage still. So consult federal agencies on any national security risks posed by the social media platform, then pursue a resolution that protects national security while saving a platform used by 170 million, 17 Americans. Mr. Trump ordered his attorney general not to enforce a law that banned the site for 75 days to give the Trump administration an opportunity to determine the appropriate course forward. So, if it wasn't the Trump administration who was asking for this ban in the first place because it posed such a national security risk to our Americans, or people close to him didn't bring up this ban for them and other social media platforms like them that try to backdoor people's information in so many words. If it wasn't him, then who was it? And wouldn't Trump's people already have had the opportunity to have determined the appropriate course forward? Yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they already have what they wanted to do, and they told him like, "Yo, TikTok, this is what's going down, homie. All right, we getting a piece of that. Y'all going, we gonna rip out that backdoor program. We're gonna make sure that you don't need all these permissions to all this other shit other than the camera and the microphone and access to put it to Facebook or Instagram. Another wink wink government site, FBI. And so yeah, I mean, I'm pretty sure they already then came to them with this and they declined it, and I guess they never thought that they were actually going to do it, or maybe they were hoping, hanging out hope that, you know, Kamala, Kamala would win, because she's black. So maybe they were hoping that she would win, and she had the opportunity to just throw all that out and they could just continue operating and getting all in our business and accessing cameras when our phones ain't on and all that stuff without our permission anyway. So yeah, I'm it just makes you wonder why there's so much noise around a TikTok ban. Okay, so now some other notable things that were signed yesterday on the first day of his second term. Withdrawal from the World Health Organization. I'm no doubt all for that. What's his name? Tetros, or whoever homeboy was that was trying to call all this pandemic crap and make us do all this extra stuff, and you be on uh booster 100, you know what I'm saying? No, no, it's a radical organization. It's radical. Rename Mount Denali in the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, if you want to do it as a sign of strength to show that we are planting our flags and we're taking back everything that we helped fund throughout history and all this other stuff, by all means, yeah. But I do feel as though that the first day energy could have been sent elsewhere. But I'm sure I'm optimistic. I've been paying attention to politics these last 5 to 6 years only because as an adult now, uh, trying to look out for the future of my legacy, which is, my children, and the children that they are going to have, you know, after me. you start to pay attention to, why your bread went from a dollar 50 for a loaf to now 3.50, $4 a loaf, like, and I know that you're printing money out the thin blue, the Federal Reserve, which is not even a federal government entity, but it's called federal, so to trick the average, person to thinking that it's a government agency, that y'all just printing money out the thin air. So it's like, so why do I got to pay more for something y'all printing out of thin air, and are you taxing me for stuff that you're printing out? So it's like, yeah. Ensures that states carrying out the death penalty has a sufficient supply of lethal injection drugs. What? What? All right, so people who know me, know I'm an avid follower of the Q movement of ending child and human trafficking and sex trafficking, and just, all around just getting rid of, PDF files. Anybody that's just out here just being reckless, causing harm, and just immoral things, just to read this is just like, are they loading up to get the people who, ain't on the side of God? You know what I mean? Like, ain't on the side of righteousness. Like, are they loading up to finally, like, you know, give them their just due? Is that why they need a sufficient supply of lethal injection? Are we about to be fully disclosed to all the traitors and treasonous people at all levels? Let's see. Fly the American flag at full staff on Monday and on future inauguration date. I mean, energy could have been spent elsewhere. Don't care. Implement the Department of Government Efficiency, the Doge Department, led by Creepy Musk, for the cost cutting initiative. Like, see, this is what I was saying back in regards to, having the full reviews on a biannual basis or even on a quarterly basis, to where as though we should have been known where all our hard-earned money that you're taxing us for is actually going, or the money that you're just printing out of thin air that you're borrowing on the bodies of the American people, where that money is actually being spent and going. Because how many videos have you seen on the internet when they go in some foreign country that was, held up by some quote unquote terrorist group, and they get in there and it's all these mass dudes and they got a bunch of bricks of American money that they ain't even have a chance to do nothing with. It's just bricks and bricks of money just all over the place, blue striped up money. And it's like, how did that get there? I can't even get over a certain amount out my bank before they start frowning their face up at me. But it's all these bricks of American hundreds, blue faces all over the place. Like, come on, bro, put it together. Revoked the security clearances for 51 signers of the letter, suggesting that the contents on the crack Biden laptop could be Russian disinformation. Now, man, hey, these are some of the people that old homeboy tried to pardon on the way out the door, as well as his family, which I'm going to make a video on all the people he pardoned and possibly why he pardoned them. But no, no, no. They should, all their security clearances should have been removed. Anybody involved with the Biden administration, or even that was left over somehow, some way from the Obama administration and the initial Trump administration, should be re-vetted, security clearances revoked, got to go through the process all over again. What have you been doing to better America or better our situation for the people since the veil has been lifted and we know all the type of bull crapping and stuff that y'all are into? So yeah, so this is what New York Slime's article this morning put out, because still don't really trust any of these entities that call themselves informing the American people. But if that is what they released today, let's see what other things they got released uh, regarding these orders. So this is a message from George News on Telegram. That is the magazine that was headed by JFK Jr. and this is one of their sites that they use to inform. So these are some of the other executive actions that were signed that didn't get all the hoopla that the initial, the first couple of ones that he signed did. So let's run through them real quick. Guaranteeing the state's protection against invasion. So that means if you seen the previous administration let in 14 million undocumented illegal immigrants from a array of countries because they might tell you they're coming through Mexico and you might think that they're only Mexicans, but we don't know who came through there and what their initiative or their intentions are with coming here. So I can only imagine what's said in that about an invasion. Restoring the names that honor American greatness. Honestly, time could have been spent elsewhere. We got time to rename things that were probably disgraced by other administrations, but don't know why the focal point energy would be on things like that as the first signed. Maybe it's campaign promises. Maybe. I don't know. I mean, I know he likes to be a man in his word and likes to, our president likes to say, you know what I did. You know I held it down. You know, you know what I did. It was great. If I had if I had a nickel for every time he said the word great, oh man, I'd load it like load it. All right, so granting pardons and commu- commutations of sentences for certain offenses relating to the events at or near the United States Capitol. So that is the pardons for the J6 people for the fake insurrection that had all these undercover government officials there egging on the crowd to go in there. Also seeing these videos of security, letting them through and oh yeah, just go down that hall, bust a left. Yeah, that's where that room is. Yeah. So those gentlemen were pardoned. I mean, I do still think some certain cases do need to be reviewed because some people were, you know, restoring accountability to policy influencing positions within the federal workforce. Yes, I mean, accountability. I mean, if you signed a policy, you should be held accountable for whatever you were trying to do with your influence. Uh, and it had bad intentions or nefarious in nature, you should be held accountable for it. I'm not completely sure if that's what that is referring to, but that's what it sounds like. Declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States. Well, that's self-explanatory. We know why he would be doing that. Clarifying the military's role in protecting the territorial integrity of the United States. So I guess that will be, you know, reviewing and redefining how we will be guarding our borders from all faces and angles. East, west, from Canada's direction and from Mexico into the Gulf of America or the Caribbean sector, wherever, whatever direction. How should we be guarding those, clarify the role of the military in guarding those areas. So, Unleashing the American energy, protecting the meaning and value of American citizenship. Unleashing American energy, protecting the meaning and value. Okay. Uh, so are we going to redefine what it is to be an American and the value of having American citizenship? Because I know legally, citizen means like property, entity, thing, not a man or, not a living being. It classifies them as something that is owned in a way. So if we were redefining the meaning and the value of that, I would be on board for being an American citizen, but for right now I am a man of God, I'm on God's green earth and you know I have the power that he gave me. So restoring the death penalty and protecting public safety. Um if you are out here doing offenses that would make people even suggest or have a thought of wanting to use the death penalty against you, it probably was pretty fucking rotten. Probably some pretty rotten shit you did. Declaring a national energy emergency. We read that with the New York Slimes article. Re-evaluating and realigning the United States foreign aid. No, I think you should get rid of the Doge. Like they say on the movie, security, and then just come tackle the motherfucker. Like as soon as you hear something that says anything that has to do with foreign and aid that comes from secure Doge, you just come right in and tackle the motherfuckers. Unleashing Alaska, yeah, we went there. America First policy directive to the Secretary of State. It's always should be us first, them last. You know what I mean? Establishing and implementing the President's Department, yeah, we know that. Defending women from gender ideology, extremism, and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Yes, like keeping men out of women's sports, keeping men out of women's bathrooms, keeping anyone who wants to, you know, live their life in a certain way. Do what you want to do. Just do not try to impose that into women's sports, the sanctity of the bathroom, all that good stuff. So yeah, I'm all for people living how they want to live. Just keep it away from the kids and keep it out of the public. Ending racial and wasteful government DEI programs and preferencing. That's kind of self-explanatory, and we kind of went through that already. Reforming the federal hiring process and restoring merit to government service. Holding former government officials accountable for election interference and improper disclosure of sensitive governmental information. Woo. Now we know a lot of people fall in line with that one. Uh, that's the should we call out all the swing states? Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Colorado, Arizona. Oh, it's going that one right there. That one, seeing that and seeing the push to have the death penalty back implemented, it's just like crazy. All right, realigning the United States Refugee Admissions Program, securing our borders, application of protecting Americans from foreign adversary controlled applications act to TikTok. See what I'm saying? Foreign adversary controlled. So the foreign adversary controlled products that they slip in because they know you niggas like to dance. So anything that got some dancing in it, they know they'll be able to access your whole fucking life. They'll be in every single thing you own just because you want to dance do a dance from an app or whatever. Withdrawal of the United States from World Health Organization, protecting the American people against invasion, protecting the United States from foreign terrorists and other national security and public safety threats. Does that include the government? Because a lot of these three-letter agencies have been in concert with these foreign terrorists. Hell, and most created these boogeymen. Hope that word clears that. Designating cartels and other organizations as foreign terrorists. I wonder. Just me thinking. Just me thinking. I wonder. Would they call certain biker gangs and Crips and Bloods, GD folks? Would they start to call some of people who identify with these? I'm not even gonna say organizations because I don't know if they are like legit organizations on paper somewhere, but would they start to classify them for you to like you to call yourself a Crip? Would they classify you as a part of a foreign terrorist organization or even a domestic terrorist organization? Something to think about. Something to think about. Um, Designating cartels specifically. Okay. Memorandum to resolve the backlog of security clearances for Executive Office of the President personnel. Not sure what that's mean. Is that to further help him get his cabinet in position to start moving? The Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development and Global Tax Deal, America First Trade Policy. So yeah, get it. That's that. I hope that's that dealing with that tariffs. Getting that tariff money. Putting people over fish. Stop being radical environmentalism to provide water to Southern California. Yeah, yeah. You should be providing water to everyone that needs water. I mean, and it's abundance of it. Y'all climate freaks want to keep telling us that the glaciers are melting, but where's the damn water? And why are you trying to seize the water to make a profit off of it? Like, okay, organization of the National Security Council and subcommittees. I don't know. I don't even know what these people do. Somebody needs to clarify what the National Security Council and subcommittees do. Like, what do they do? For the most part, when I see some subcommittee being worded or said, and it shows up on C-SPAN or whatever one of these MSNBC, all they doing is talking, and I don't see none of these people that they're accusing of anything that they're doing or want to say that they're doing. Of I don't see them going to jail. Like I don't see them getting locked up. I just see a lot of word salad theater, you know, Perry Mason, um, Godfather 2, you know, just crap. Promoting beautiful federal civic architecture. I guess that has to do with the tearing down of statues during the Democrat riots, but again, energy could be spent better elsewhere, in my opinion. Restoring accountability for career senior executives. Yes. Like a Joe Biden who has been in Senate for 40 something years and not held accountable for none of the bills and things he signed over the years that have caused destruction on the American people, the American economy, just the American way of life. Yes, start holding him, Crazy Nancy. What's the other one? The other uh, chick in California that be looking like she freezing and glitching. The old lady. Yeah, start holding them accountable for what they say. Start replaying them back the clips of them flip flopping from one thing to the next. Like show them, hey, we see you, motherfucker. We see you. Like we know you didn't say that, right? Temporary withdrawal of all areas on the outer continental shelf from offshore wind leasing and review of the federal government's leasing and permitting practices for wind projects. Outer continental shelf. That's interesting words. I want to know when we going to be able to go to North and South Pole and areas that they said that we could not go. When are us as living, breathing souls of this planet going to be able to go all over the planet without such heavy restrictions and somebody telling us where we can and can't go when they don't own this stuff? So, yeah, that goes through for all of the executive orders that I was able to find for the first day and give a little my thoughts and opinions. Not too much context because I didn't do a deep dive into every executive order, but I wanted to know what Uncle Donnie signed. Like, is it? I need to know what he's doing, where he stands. Where's this going? Because I was a supporter. I'm trying to see something different because I know we had such blind leadership to the Democrats that it was just like, bro, nah, my hood still looks the same. No matter who y'all put in the office, my hood still. Why would I keep voting this way just blindly just because anything that says Republican is supposed to be racist, uptight, rich, disconnected from my issues when it seemed like it was the other way around the whole time? And it's like, and then, when you start to do history and you find out that it was actually black scholars that started the Republican Party, and it was a faction out of the Democratic Party that started the Ku Klux Klan to scare people into not voting for the Republicans. That black scholars started. It gets deep. It gets deep. So yeah, so that is the first day executive order signed. Let me know your thoughts, opinions. If you made it to the end of the video, I'm happy that you rocked out with me for this long. It's your boy Home Boom. It's the Hold Up Show. And what did he sign? He signed an awful damn lot. Enjoy the rest of your day. I'm out. Peace.